Hey, you guys. Welcome to the Shella D. Bridgman Show. This is Shella D. Bridgman, and this is my testimony. I welcome you guys. It is Wednesday evening, November 20th, 6:27 p.m. Checking in with you guys. Took a little nap. I needed it. I came to and my car was parked like I had a lot of something. And when I parked the car, I didn't feel that. Meaning I didn't know that it was that off, but I weaved the whole way through when I got off work. Back and forth in the different lanes driving. So I was exhausted, but I was lucky to have somebody with me last night that was good company at work, and so I was able to get through the night. So here we are. The one thing I did before I went to sleep was I called the storage place, the one that I said was perfect. Now, you know there's power in the tongue, so I said I'm not going to say anything, but I knew the guy didn't want me there. The young lady was nice. He was mean to her. And the way he talked to me is like, you know, when people say, but it's just a way, and I could feel, excuse me, like I said, when he came into the room, the energy changed. You know, the energy changed, and how he talked to her. Like, I'm standing there like a couple feet away from her. There's nobody else in the office. There's nothing else going on. And he says to her, "Did you help her?" It's like, so he had a little problem. He's only been there 3 months. I don't know what his problem is, but yeah, it's a nice place. And the reason why I say he didn't want me there, this, I'm just going to tell you. Sometimes people, you know, when you hear people say that, you hear them say it again, and it's like, oh, okay, maybe this person is having a problem. But no, I said to him, I said, well, so the lady decided to take the large unit, right? She decided to take the large unit. Because she had a couple other units on the property. That's who he was waiting, who held the unit yesterday, all day, right? And again, he was like, and I was like, well, can you call her? He was like, well, she has all day until 6 o'clock. Like, when I would say, stop. When I would say something, look. Sorry about that, you guys. I'm learning how to use the pause button. Yeah, so, when he was saying that she has the unit held, he was like, well, she has all day and this and that, and then so she, today when I called him, and so he said she's gonna take the large unit, right? And so, I said, oh, okay, well then, that meant that because her options were to take the large unit and consolidate what she has, or take the small unit and just, do another add-on, right? So she decided to, he said, yes, well, she came in briefly and all this stuff. But he said she's going to take the large unit. And so I said, it's like before I could even get it out of my mouth, I'm like, well, does that mean? And he was like, oh, well, I don't know. I don't know what she's going to do, which doesn't make sense. Because that was the whole point of getting such a large unit, is that you're going to vacate the other two that you have, right? He was like, oh, I don't know. Like, he was shutting me down right away. Oh, I don't know, and I'll put your name on the list. I'm like, okay. But you know what? After having a little bit of sleep, a little bit of sleep, because I'm saying I was so tired I weaved down the highway, all the way down the highway, after I got off work. After getting a little bit of sleep and knowing that I have a whole, all these days to find something, and you see this person. See, this is a shame. This is what people have no idea. This person is homeless that was just parked in front of me, and they just drove away. I mean, the car is filled to the rim with stuff, and it looks like they had a meal, and then they just drove away. But I mean, like, filled to the rim, like the seat next to them, all the way. I mean, you could see it through the window. But anyway, I'm back at my regular spot recording. But yeah, so when I was asking him, is she gonna vacate the unit and this and that, and he just shut me down. But after having a little bit of sleep, it helps, you guys. It really does. And knowing that I'm off tomorrow, Thursday and Friday, I'm just gonna go deal with it when I get off work tomorrow. I'm gonna go find me a place. I'm gonna go find me everything that I want. So what they showed me was what I want does exist. A place that's clean, a place that's safe, a place that, is affordable, because I can afford it. A place that's affordable. And, see, these are the distractions I didn't have yesterday. It's like 5-6 teenagers coming out of the library. It is cold. It's 54 degrees. I'm looking at the thing on my computer. It's 54 degrees, and not one of them has a jacket on. Anyhow, so yeah, what I realized after having a little bit of sleep is that, and this is what I know, but when you're tired, you can't process things correctly, and you're running on adrenaline, so to speak. But every closed door is leading you closer to where you're supposed to be. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I know I talked to this guy. He is so cool. He's so cool. Talked to him at work last night. And I told him, because I had told him I was working with him when I was trying to get the piece out of the lock, the piece of key out of the lock and everything. I was working with him then. And so he was there when I was moved into the unit, right? And so now here I am the next week saying I need to move out of the unit. So I explained to him, like how the people treated me with charging me $20 for the lock and, to get into the lock and stuff like that. And he's not quite my age, but he's a grown man. And he said, yeah, he said they could, like at least cut you the cost or something. No, he's not a yes man or anything like that, but he understood everything that I was saying, and that in the long run, it's like, how do you say, leave if you're gonna leave on your terms. Don't be sitting at home having a bag of chips, enjoying your favorite movie, and you get a phone call and you gotta go. Then you gotta scramble and get prepared and get packed, get everything packed and stuff like that. Go on your own terms. And so that's what we're saying, and I just feel it in my gut, and I trust it. I knew the guy was funny acting yesterday when I saw the place that I really liked. I knew it, but I didn't want to say it. Because I wanted the unit. But I could feel it. The young lady was perfect. She was wonderful. When she greeted me, she meant it. And when I was talking to them, she totally understood. But he's the manager. So he makes the decisions. But it's for me to meet different people, and I can accept that. Like how I talked with her and how I was so grateful to her for how she treated me. She knew that, and she needed to hear that, because what she was saying is that she said, yeah, some people don't understand that. Some people think, like you're not supposed to go out of your way to greet people. And she could have been talking about him. She could have been talking about him. So maybe it was for me to meet her, to give her the value that she needed. Not give her value, but to confirm what she believes about herself. in a good way. It's just like I'm saying, I went into the thrift store the other day, and I went in there, and the people were not nice to me. They give one person a price, but they wouldn't give me a price. That's not all in my mind when something like that is happening right in front of you, but you say it's the policy, right? But the young man he's like on the spectrum. He probably is autistic. You know what I'm saying? So him don't start. Look, stop. So it's like I went in there, and they made me feel so uncomfortable with the music, and I'm shopping, and they would like edge me out, like they're working right there, and it was like, oh, okay, I just don't feel comfortable. Let me leave. And I ended up buying something for $1, but I went into the guy's line and gave him a compliment on his haircut, and I could see him being uplifted. So yeah, so yesterday I went in there, and maybe it wasn't for me to get the unit. Maybe it wasn't, well, not maybe, but it wasn't for me to get the unit, but I was able to see something for myself, that what I want does exist. It does exist, but it has to also be, they have to want me there. So that's the other part of it. Come on now, people, that's the other part of it. So you can want something. Again, it could be a relationship. You can want something, but it has to go both ways. They have to see your value also. They have to see your value. But something that I did learn on the night of sleep, I learned that just go in there and get the unit. You don't need to tell people all that stuff. Just go get the unit, and that's it. I think it was for me to say before, but just go get the unit. Just go get the unit. So I'll go find something tomorrow, or not. Maybe I'll just get some rest and look online or something like that. But I was so tired. I think that's what caused the back spasms. I was having like back spasms at the top of my back. And I think it was because I was so tired. It's amazing how you can walk around and be so messed up. I weaved my way all the way down the highway. And when I parked the car, I came to, I was taking up more than one parking space. And I was diagonal. And you could not have told me my judgment was that off. I did not know that. And like I said, that's ouch. That's the back spasm. That's how I have the damage on my car now, is because I went to sleep and hit a semi-truck, whatever you call them, the diesel things, whatever you call those things. I hit one in the morning getting off work. So, but I'm checking in with you guys. I'm good. I'm well. My little guy, he's good. He's well. He really hangs in there. He's so smart. And I passed out. I made that one phone call this morning and passed out. And he needed to, do some stuff. But he was like, Mommy, sleep. Mommy is sleep, like really sleep. And as soon as I woke up, I took care of him. And he just licked me. It feels so good that we're bonding. Like, it's like when I met him, he was a stranger. When I got him, he was a stranger. And everything he did scared me. The biting and he scared me because I'm afraid of dogs. But we're close enough now where I'm not afraid of him. I can, I'm comfortable with him. I'm not afraid of him. When he does something, I'm just not afraid the way I was when I first got him. So I'm glad of that. And yeah, that's a little bit of sleep helped me to know, help me to go back to what I know, because I know that. But when you're in the middle of stuff, you're like, oh, and then when you're tired, you're not thinking clearly. That thank the person for the no. Thank them for the no. Thank them. It's putting you one step closer to where you're supposed to be. So what do they say? Thank God for the open doors and for the closed doors. For closing the wrong doors and opening the right ones, and I thank him for that. So yeah, but tomorrow I'll go and get out there. And then when I was leaving work this morning, the lady that relieves me in the morning, she's been there for a while, and she was in good spirits and stuff, and we were talking about the guy that I really enjoyed working with and stuff, and she was like, you didn't know what was going on, he wasn't doing his job and all this stuff. I'm like, okay. But there was a young guy there that showed up for work, and so we're like, oh, okay, he's gonna be with her for the shift. Comes out, he was there for training. So I believe he was there for training. So I think that's the guy that's gonna work with me at night. And if it's him, it's a good one. It's a good match. So if it's him, I'm gonna be so overjoyed and thankful to the guy that hired him, because that means he really did hire him for me, because he's the kind, you can tell he's the kind of person I would like to work with. You know what I mean? So yeah, I might sound a little tired right now because I really just woke up. And I drove over here to the library, and I'm trying to get this done as soon as possible, because you got, even though like I'm at 16 minutes now, but you never know how long it's going to take to upload, and I really am. People have no idea how much I try to get to work and not be in the hustle and bustle, but I'm going to do everything I can today to walk in there tonight like I'm civilized, like I have some sense, and go to work. This is my Friday. This is my Friday night tonight, so I'm going to do everything I can to walk in there without being in a panic, and then and do my job. So it's look, I tell you, I'm supposed to be there for 12. It's a 6:45, and I'm starting now. And people have no idea the way it looks. That's what I'm saying. You can't judge people, because the way I rush in there every night, you would think that I really am waiting until the last minute. It's almost 7 o'clock, and I'm starting to get ready for work. It just takes that long. Because of the this and the that, because of my story, right? It takes a minute. So guess what, you guys? Guess what? I'll be telling you guys the secrets. I realized today I'm gonna get a plug-in for the office. Those Glade plug-ins? Ooh, I'm gonna get one of those. I may not have time to do it tonight, but I'm gonna get that on my days off, and when I come back, I'm gonna plug that bad boy in. Ooh, and the office is gonna smell good all the time. I'm gonna get something like a vanilla or coconut. Oh my goodness. Those things really do work, because I've smelled them. And I'm gonna get one and plug that bad boy in. And I might plug it in a place where nobody knows where it is. And they're just gonna say, where's that smell coming from? See, sometimes you have to, and this is something I learned along the way. I can't remember where it was, but what do they say? Sometimes you have to ask for forgiveness. Sometimes you have to not ask for permission, but ask for forgiveness. So instead of me asking somebody, can I plug this thing in here? Because then you're giving people the chance to tell you no. I'm just going to plug it in there and put it somewhere where they don't know where it is, so that they would have to work to figure it out. And by that time, they'll, what are you eating? One thing that guy did give me at the storage room, but the guy told me I needed counseling, he gave me some flashlights. These mini, tiny flashlights. And I can flash this on him. Boy, what do you have in there? What is that? What is that? What is that? so this is a white. See, this is what I mean. This is what I mean. He has this. It's a plastic bone. It's a plastic bone. So I was hearing noises that I knew I shouldn't be hearing. He just ate all his food. He drank most of his water. So he's good. He's satisfied. I got time to do this, and everything is good. Everything is good. So I hear this noise, and there's nothing in there in his cage, in his little room. There's nothing in there. This little bone is in there. This little plastic bone is green, and it has white stripes on it. But he's in there making a noise like there's nothing for him. His food is crunchy, and he's eating that. So what is the noise I'm hearing? Stop. The noise, he tore the stripes off of the bone. He tore the stripes off of the bone, and that's what he's licking on or chewing on or whatever he's doing. I tell you. It's like having kids. You guys know what I'm talking about. When you hear the noise you're not supposed to hear. You're not supposed to hear this noise. But yeah. So that's what's going on with him. He hasn't destroyed anything in a while, so I tell you, he's a whole piece of work. I gotta get this stuff out of there, but I don't want to mess with this recording. Yeah, the little flashlights, you can barely, cause I put the flashlight in there to see, so I can clean up or something, and he's after the flashlight. Yeah, he's trying to get it now. So, anyhow, you guys, look, so it's 50 something degrees, 54 degrees. It's cold out there. It is cold. But people know now that I'm not transferring, because one of the guys last night, my boss, he said, so what happened with the interview? I said, oh, I'm not taking the job. He just turned around and walked out. Some people, even though I do my job, But yeah, so I think everything is really good. I think that, because I mean, it's not my dream job or anything, but it's okay. It's okay. I like the way the job is structured. I have some movement. I have time to do stuff. And the way it's set up, it's where I don't get bored. It's overnight. I don't get bored. There's enough movement. And but it really does have to do with the people that you work with. And what did I always used to say? It's not the work, it's the people. And so if they hire somebody that I really like working with, that's like I'm good, until I can make a really good change for myself. Because I'm telling you, where I come from out there with the porta potties and stuff, I don't need to go and not working consistently, and hoping some, believing somebody's going to show up. That's, I don't need to go back to that. I don't need to go back to that. So yeah, so I think it's going to work out. I think, everything happens for a reason. Just like I was fed up enough to request a transfer. I was fed up enough to request a transfer, and I think that did something. And they know why. So I think, because I'm a decent employee. I'm decent. So I'm distracting him so he doesn't go and mess with that plastic. Because it's like 2 inches long. A thin piece of plastic like 2 inches long. So I'm distracting him because I don't want that in his mouth. But yeah, guys. So what was the message? One door. Thank God thank God for closing the wrong doors and opening the right ones. Every no puts you one step closer to where you're supposed to be. Okay, so when they tell you no, that's how you can say that, like all this stuff with how, some people, everybody doesn't welcome you. Everybody doesn't want you. Everybody doesn't want your business. And that's okay. But how you keep from being bitter, angry and bitter, you just say, oh, thank you. Thank you, because it's just helping you get to where you're supposed to be. That is really the truth. It's helping you to get one step closer to where you're supposed to be. Because the other side of that is the example ending up where you're not supposed to be. I'm not supposed to be in that. Stop. I'm not supposed to be in the storage room that I'm in. I'm not. And just like, I was talking to the guy, and it's like, yeah, no, they'll come at you with something, but they'll catch me by surprise, and then I'll be, what do they say? I'll be stumbled. Then I'll have to deal with something that I'm not prepared to deal with, and you can feel it. You can feel it. So I'd rather cut my losses and deal with it at a time that is convenient for me, which is now. So something will work out. Something will work out. I'll go deal with it. Have a couple days to get it going. So that's about it for me. I think that's a lesson. That's a good lesson, But it goes back to what I said. Trust your gut. I didn't want to speak anything against the situation, but I knew the guy didn't. I knew he didn't want to rent to me because it is you again. You can tell, you can feel it. But when it's inconvenient, because like I want to go ahead and get this done, it was inconvenient for him to tell me no, or for it to not go the way I wanted it to. That's inconvenient, but it's better to it's okay for things to not work out the way you want them to work. Like I said, he has that plastic. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm trying to. Hey! Stop! Stop! Yeah. So yeah, it's okay. But you have to be, the other part of that, you guys, is stop. You have to be open. You have to be open. Oftentimes, like I said, we want something, and that's all we can see is that's what we want. But we have to be open to how things work out. It's just like what God told me about myself and about my life. Okay, that's what He told me, and that's what I believe. But I have to be open to how it's going to happen. How it's going to happen. He told me what's going to happen, but I have to be open to how it's going to happen. So okay, so that's my message. Stay open. That's my message. I thank you for that. I thank you for that, because I can talk about a whole lot of stuff and it can make a lot of sense, but that's the message. Stay open. Stay open, you guys, and that's really how you get there. Because you can know in your heart of hearts you're supposed to be whatever. You're supposed to have X job or whatever you see for yourself. Or even, come on now, this is a word. Even that you're supposed to get married. That you're supposed to get married. But I see so many women limiting themselves. He has to be X in order for him to be the partner for me, the one for me, the one that I'm supposed to marry. But it may come in a different package. That person may come in a different package. So you have to stay open. You have to stay open, because the person that's honest and faithful and that's gonna love you in a way to make you better. It's like they say, I've seen, even with myself, when I got married, for that few minutes that I was married, stop. I went down. You could see it, my appearance. You could see it. Put it like this. When a person is in a good relationship, they're going to get better. Their employment situation, everything, they're just going to get better. We see it in men all the time. They're going to get better. You shouldn't get worse. When you're in the right relationship, you shouldn't get worse. So stay open to what the answer is for whatever it is that you want, stay open to what the best answer actually is. Not just being focused on what we want, but stay open to sometimes it's a location, it's a, you know, sometimes we have to relocate. Sometimes it's not exactly where we wanted it to be, but it's what we're supposed to have. You know, that's how people that's how people make it. That's how people get there. It's like when they do that thing, when they move from, some place to another place, those are the people with the success stories. They're like, oh, I just relocated here from someplace else because they were willing to take the chance. There could be a golden opportunity, but it's someplace else. And excuse me, we have to be willing to be uncomfortable, and leave. What do they say? Leave everything that we know. We have to be willing to do that to get what we're really supposed to have. Because when you relocate, it could be a job, but when we relocate, there's everything that comes along with it. Maybe that's where your partner is. It's someplace else. Everything that you need may be, or want and need, could be someplace else. It just may not be where you're at. You may really need to go someplace else, and be willing to give up everything you know. Stop. Hey, he's eating something. I gotta get in there. All right, that's a good enough message, you guys. That's good. All right, thank you so much. Look at him. He's eating stuff. I could hear on that recording yesterday. You could hear him scratching. He had his little vest on, and you could hear him scratch. See, he's eating his plastic. All right, you guys. I love you. Thank you for being here. I love you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye. Stay open.